And welcome to the Fighting Spirit Podcast. As always, I'm Jason, and I'm here to bring you your retrospective where the king of cheese, the right wing sleaze, defeated Robbie Lawler and maybe built himself a title shot by defeating him. Colby Covington picked up the W here tonight. Let's get into it. Let's go over the card. Here's the show. We went 7-5 on the evening. Not too bad. Could have been better, but I will take it. And another thing, too, I just want to apologize for the lower audio quality of this show. I know it's going to be lower quality. I'm in Minnesota at the moment, and so I don't have access to my normal equipment. So we're going back to kind of some old school, low quality audio. And I just want to apologize, but let's get that out of the way. Holy hell, Colby Covington might be the real deal because he just made Robbie Lawler look awful. Colby Covington went for about 20 takedowns, scored 10 takedowns, threw 600, 500 strikes overall, connected with 179 of them. I mean, this guy was on fire. Robbie Lawler, he maybe connected with a couple of decent shots, but for the most part, he was just getting walked down. He was getting pulverized the entire time. Colby was riding him like crazy, and he really had nothing to offer in return. It was a one-sided affair if there's ever been one, and I am definitely looking forward to him versus Usman now. I liked Masvidal. I'd like that title shot. I thought it was a good opportunity for him, but the way Colby just dismantled Robbie Lawler in spectacular fashion, or at least, long, drawn-out, grinding fashion, the way his cardio is able to provide that, I think it's a great matchup. I'm looking forward to that, and then maybe Masvidal can pick up the winner of that matchup and get his title shot at that point. It's also that Leon Edwards fight floating out there, but we picked up a W with Colby Covington getting it done. Moving on to our co-main, kind of anticlimactic here. So Jim Miller wins with a guillotine choke 58 seconds into the first round. 2 strikes were thrown each, and we never really got to see, the brawl that I think Clay Guida wanted. Granted, I had said Jim Miller did have that spirit grappling game, and it just came to fruition here. He kind of stunned Guida with a nice shot. Was able to jump in. He pulled guard, which, is a little dangerous, but the guy is so technical with his guillotine. He did not, fear going to a ground and pound type situation with Guida on top. Thought he had him injured enough. He picked up a W here. Ended up picking up an L for us, though. So we did take an L on this one, but, hey, this is just the way MMA plays out. 2 guys that should have had, a 3-round slugfest ended up having a 58-second kind of walk-off victory. So you never know what can happen. And hats off to Jim Miller. It was a solid win. And we also talked about him battling Lyme disease. So that was, kind of interesting. I didn't know that about him. So another good win for him. And, hey, W, we pick up the L. Is what it is. Next matchup, we had a W because Nasrat Haqparast knocks out Joaquim Silva in the second round, 36 seconds into it. It was a good contest. I thought that Nasrat looked like a superior striker, and Joaquim tried to hang with him, but he really should have tried to get it to the ground, being such a great BJJ fighter. I didn't really pressure that. He didn't pressure any takedowns. I guess he thought he could hang with Nasrat, and it just did not play out well for him. Either way, though, we picked up the W, so I was happy about that. Matchup one I was unfortunately not able to see. We had Mears defeat Giles in the third round via a guillotine choke. There's not much action in this fight, though. 6 strikes for Mears, 8 for Giles, 1 takedown each. Seems like it was fairly close. Giles had a lot of passes. He maybe would have been able to pick up the W based on these numbers. I'm not really sure. But either way, Mears picked up the W, and we pick up an L on this one. It is what it is. The next contest, we had Scott Holtzman. Maybe he put hot sauce in his gloves because he shut down Dung Hoon Ma. He blew up his face like a balloon. He stung him good, and he proved why we call him hot sauce in the UFC. He outstruck him like mad. His coaches ended up, throwing in the towel here. Got a good doctor stoppage, and he was not able to answer the bell in the third round. I was happy to make this call. I picked up a W, and hats off to Scott Holtzman for having such phenomenal hands. Dick kicks of the century because we had Kennedy Njoku defeat Darko Stojic despite getting kicked in the dick 3 times. I've seen the highlights on Reddit. I recommend you see it too. I'm not sure which dick kick this is, but Darko Stojic literally kicks him in the dick for what has to be more than the first time and just throws up his hands in like agony and defeat. He he just could not control himself. I don't know. He kept kicking the guy in the dick. Like, stop throwing inside leg kicks. If you're kicking the guy in the dick, you're going to lose points. I don't care how devastating your inside leg kicks are. They're probably not going to be enough to overcome multiple dick kicks on a guy and getting points taken off your fight night. Anyways, he loses by unanimous decision. He did outstrike Kennedy. He got 4 takedowns. But when you kick a guy in the dick that much, I mean, hey, it is what it is. All right, in our next one, Mickey Gall picks up a win, one that he really badly needed against Salim Tiwari, in a fight that was very close. That one takedown that Gall got might have been enough to overshoot things because it was 50 to 48 strikes, and it was a close matchup. We had Tiwari here, so he did pick up an L, but Gall got back to his winning ways. I was really happy to see that because I do like him as a fighter. It's just I didn't have him picked. Hats off to Mickey Gall. Solid victory. Next matchup, we had Antonia Shevchenko destroy Lucy Poodle. This was kind of a weird late stoppage, though, I got to say. Poodle, I thought, was out for many seconds before this thing was called. Ended up with kind of an interesting, takedown where Shevchenko managed to take the back of Poodle, even though Poodle was initiating the takedown, gets in the back, scores a rear naked choke, wraps it up real quick, and puts her out in the second round. I thought she was also winning the fight through the first, so I think she probably could have picked up a decision here anyways. But yeah, the referee just got to be a little bit better about this one. There was maybe a little bit of a late moment stoppage with the Jim Miller-Clay Guida fight, but this one was well beyond, any chance that Poodle was going to come back into this one. So bad stoppage here. Granted, it was a choke. The strikes after the bell are certainly not after the bell, but after a knockout are maybe a little more devastating. But still, you don't like to see the ref push it longer than they have to, and really be there to save the fighters. So I'm not too happy about that one, but we did pick up a W. So hey, I'll take that. Another one I'm not really able to say too much about. We had Schnell defeat Jordan Espinosa. We had calls for Espinosa at this flyweight matchup. Hardly any strikes are thrown, and this thing ends up on the ground. We end up with a triangle choke 1 minute and 23 seconds into the first round, with Schnell picking up the W. Maybe it's another one like the Guida fight. Guida couldn't really get rolling, just like Espinosa, and he ended up getting submitted really early on. Is what it is. We had to take an L on that one. Moving on to another L, we had Lauren Murphy defeat Mara Romero Barella. She was just a little bit better that night. Barella did pick up the only takedown on the evening, but Murphy just did more damage. She ended up throwing 2 additional strikes, and I thought that it was probably an okay call. Actually, I am lying because she knocked her out via TKO with a knee 1 minute 46 seconds into the third round. So maybe this thing had reached the bell. Romero could have potentially won, but that is not how it played out. Sorry about reading that one incorrectly. Our last two, we pick up W's on both. Claudio Silva defeats Cole Williams. The guy is a BJJ phenom. He shuts Cole down, only throws 2 strikes, takes him down, puts him in the neck crank 2 minutes, 35 seconds in, picks up a great W. And then Miranda Granger beats Hannah Goldie, outstriking her very favorably and doing more damage ultimately. I thought she was walking her down nice. I thought she was moving out of the pocket nice. I did catch this one a little bit, and Miranda Granger just looked really good, so I was happy to see her pick up a W. Either way, though, we went 7-5 on the evening. I actually crossed this with another metric, though, that went 9-3, and last week that other metric did do a little bit better, so I might mix in some of those picks and feel that one out. But either way, though, we'll get on to those for Tuesday when I talk to you again for the Liz Carmouche Valentina Shevchenko 2 fight. That one should be pretty good. It's another foreign card, so I'm not sure how much I can really touch it, to be honest, but I'm going to do my best to crunch it out. Either way, though, let's get on to housekeeping. You can get in touch with the Fighting Spirit Podcast at fightingspiritpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at MMA Fight Picks 01. We're also on Twitter. We're also on your podcast platform of choice. Please get in touch with us. I love the mailbag segment. I don't have one here today. I'd love to, so please write out to the show if you are listening to us. And if you are enjoying those excellent fight picks, there's also a Patreon where I give further fight picks. They were very good tonight. I think I nailed just about all of them. So if you want additional betting tips, join the Patreon at $5 a month. $1 will get you, voting on the alcohol reviews, and then $20 will get your credit here on this podcast. So if you'd like to get your name read or some kind of message read on the show, that one is available as well. That description or that link is down in the description. So I will talk to you again on Tuesday with better audio quality. I'll be back home to record the fight picks for Liz Carmouche versus Shevchenko 2. And until then, happy fight picking.